Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. I'm your host, DB. Let's get into it.
Do you want to learn about common sexuality topics, including STIs, jealousy, pleasure, non-monogamy, sex work, how to be a better client? Hi, I'm Elle Stanger. I'm a certified sex educator, and I'm an adult entertainer and porn maker, and I host weekly episodes to talk about some really common and some very unknown things about sex and sexuality. Find They Talk Sex podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or theytalksex.com.
Let's talk about a lube I absolutely love, Uberlube. Uberlube makes sex better for everyone by reducing friction and increasing pleasure. Whether you're using it for solo sex, sex with a partner, or both, Uberlube has a long-lasting performance that lets skin feel skin. It has simple, body, and condom-friendly ingredients, is scent and color-free, dissipates when no longer needed so there's no sticky residue, and is recommended by leading doctors. Use code SEXEDWITHDB for 15% off at uberlube.com. If I were to tell you I was conducting a masturbation experiment with the magic wand, what would some of your hypotheses be? Well, I did do a masturbation experiment with the magic wand, so let me tell you what some of mine were. Number 1, anxiety, tension, and stress will decrease during and after daily magic wand use. Number 2, daily magic wand use will be associated with improved mood, confidence, and happiness when compared with no sexual activity. And number 3, sleep length and sleep quality will improve during daily magic wand use when compared to no sexual activity. After running the numbers, 2 of those hypotheses were true, and one of them is false. Want to know which ones were true and which one was false? Go to sexedwithdb.com/magicwandexperiment to learn more about the experiment. Read some of my daily journals and watch some of my daily vlogs, and find the results of these hypotheses and a few others, and so much more. Simone and Isabella, hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, DB. What a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine. Really, really so glad to have you both on. Before we started recording, I was saying how funny it is when you're fangirling over people and when you, in your daily life, are scrolling and then see people's content who you genuinely laugh on the ground about because it's so fucking funny. So I love your show and I'm a big fan. So thank you for coming on the podcast.
That is so sweet and so kind. Sweet. Thank you so much. That means the world to us.
It does. It's very hard to hear someone be like, we really love your content, because immediately I'm like, they're lying. They are lying.
Simone.
No one likes you.
They're
Literally
tricking.
No one likes you. You're not funny. Me, just speaking about myself, I'm like, this is all fake. But me and my therapist will talk about that at a later time.
Very critical, important note is go see a therapist, listener. If you don't, wow. Really good. Really important to remind people that therapy's for everybody, and we should all be in therapy for the rest of our lives.
Yes, try your best. It's not as affordable. It's not easy to get, but through your insurance, maybe.
Sure.
Perfect transition, you guys. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. I'm kidding. It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's sponsored by BetterHelp.
But
we just decided.
we emailed BetterHelp. Hey, you guys. We decided that you guys have sponsored us.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they're like, I'm so sorry. We've never met you in our whole lives. I'm like, no, we're on your front page of your website.
Yeah. I'm like,
why are you lying?
Not true.
Gaslighting.
It was gaslighting. Yeah.
I'm going to need to see a BetterHelp therapist about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gaslight me.
This is going to be very good. You're in for a ride. Whoever's listening to this right now. Let's have you all introduce yourselves. Who are you? Tell us about your incredibly wild and hilarious show, Swipe Talk.
Sure. Simone, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So my name is Simone. I'm one of the hosts of Swipe Talk.
And hello, I'm Isabella. I am the other host of Swipe Talk. And what is Swipe Talk? you're wondering. I'm sure. I mean,
on the
you
edge of
aren't
your
because
seat.
you're already like, oh my God, this is the biggest show ever. Of course I know what my dog
Of course
is.
I know them.
But in case, God forbid, you live under a little rock like Patrick, me never having ever referenced the show SpongeBob.
I know, I was
like Patrick.
Great reference. I have seen SpongeBob in my day, and that is what Patrick does.
That is what Patrick does. He's under a rock.
Correct.
Thank you.
He does.
It is a Snapchat, TikTok short form series where we review, we giggle about the plights of the dating world, the modern dating world, whether that be through dating app culture, looking at messages, profiles, DMs, reviewing it, giggling, having a fun laugh, because you know what? We're all trying to find love in this nutty, nutty, nutty little world. And
in an unhopeful place, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, in an unhopeful time.
Yeah.
So what better thing to do than unite us all through the giggles, make you feel less alone, and make you feel like this isn't so serious, everybody. We're going to find it being love.
And our biggest thing is talking about how it's not you, it's your profile, because some people don't understand how they're coming across. And I'm sure we'll get into like our pet peeves and like the things that we hate seeing. But some people genuinely do not understand how they're coming across. And we're just here to be like, hey, bae, no.
Right.
We're going to like change that.
So many people message us too, being like, can you review my profile? Because a lot of people, when we first started the show, were like,
they crave it.
Like, we're so angry at us. And we're like, stop reviewing these profiles. You're so evil. Which, by the way, we're not evil. We're giggling. You guys were giggling together.
Silly.
We're not giggling at you. We're giggling with you.
Right.
It's not you that we're laughing at ever. We're laughing at the profile. We're laughing at a message. We know you don't mean it. So we're laughing all together so we can fix it. But people are like, please review my profile. I'm not giving out the energy I think I want to be, or, you know, I don't know what to say in the messages. And I get it. Also, I also
feel gorgeous. Like just a general lesson in life is like, if you get so deeply offended at something that isn't like, you know, like something that's like racist, homophobic, like, you know, the it's, right?
Right.
If you get so deeply, the isms, thank you. If you get that deeply offended, it's probably because you're a part of it and you're irritated. So like, if you see us reviewing someone's profile and you know that you have a bio that's like, here for a good time, not a long time. And we're like, no. Then
live, love in your way to the top.
Love. Or like, I guess another common one on the women's side is like, if you're looking for, it was like, if you're looking for someone that's a bad girl, that's good because I'm bad at everything. I guess that's a really.
Oh, that is a common one.
Yeah. And it's just like, if it's common, or if you're doing the thing that we're talking about, you know, you can choose to just do exactly what you're doing. Still. Like it's, or you can change it. It's just a dating profile, y'all. Like,
well, that's the important thing, because a lot of times, not always, but sometimes people aren't able to see other people that are on the apps. So it's all either you're in a relationship, you've never been on the apps, you know, you're a girl that only sees men on your profile. So now you're finally seeing girl profiles, or you're a guy that doesn't see other men on your profiles, and you're seeing what other men are putting out there.
It's a new POV. Completely.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're finally getting different perspective on the dating world. But yeah, it's important in life to laugh at yourself and not take things so
it's okay.
personally. No.
Completely.
And,
yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the most wild dating profiles that you have ever encountered online.
Oh, it's hard because I feel like we've become desensitized.
So desensitized.
To the point where our producer will be like, this wasn't a dating profile. It was something else. But it was literally an article about a woman being like on Quora. That's like,
I was like, are you saying in a quarry?
I know, but that's what I wanted to say. It was this girl being like, my boyfriend would like to breastfeed off of my breasts. And I was like,
oh my.
And literally Isabella was like, oh no, like she had like a bigger reaction than to me. I'm like, you know, sometimes that happens. Like that's, you know, I don't want to yuck somebody else.
Yeah. And I also want to say, even though I did have a shocked reaction, I then went, you know what? We don't kink shame. Cool. Do whatever you want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do whatever the hell your body wants to do. I am nothing if not a kink shamer. Wait.
Sure.
Nope.
It's not a kink shamer. I am nothing but not a kink shamer.
You could just say, I am not a kink shamer.
Jim, I would like to put it on record. I am not a kink shamer. Putting my hands on the Bible because America
on the Bible,
religious. Never heard of it.
On the Torah.
Very good, very good. Book of Mormon, even. Let's get that in there.
For sure.
What what lately, or like give us a sneak peek of your episode coming out of like kind of wild. Ooh. Oh, I saw one thing, and then I want to hear your wild. I saw one wild thing on your whatever TikTok,
yes,
which is like really conservative people just posting really insane pictures of like the wives in like a kennel, being like, "We're expecting a new pup" or whatever the fuck. Like, what
the breeder? What the fuck?
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were going to mention the finally peace on earth one. Did you see?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Hand in hand.
Shoot.
Hand in hand.
Shoot. It's giving
you cover that one. You cover that one, Simone. I'll cover this one. Basically, the image that DB is so beautifully describing was something that we found from one of our episodes where we reacted to the Instagram account Hetero Cringe, which basically is an Instagram account that cringes at heterosexual people. And one of these images was two farmers, the wife in the stable where they keep cows, and him with a plastic glove that they use to breed cows. And they posted on their Facebook saying, she's finally bred, ready to have another cowboy.
Boy or cats? Cow.
Boy all cats. Cow
it was a gender reveal, perhaps.
It was a gender, it was a gender reveal. Huge. 2 for 2.
So good.
Yeah, so that was the situation there. And that's the prime example of a bubble. I'm like, what?
Like, what the fuck?
And their family is like good work. Like they're happy about that.
Their Facebook friends are like, go off. They're like, this was so good. And then if anybody says anything against it, it's like, God, these fucking liberals. And it's like,
right. Which is
human rights.
Wild.
So which was hand in hand with Simone. Yeah, here she goes.
Yeah, there was another Facebook again, of a bunch
belongs
of different
to our
families.
Parents and the conservatives
and holiday cards, actually. Holiday cards.
Oh yes, these are holiday cards. Yeah. They might have been like e-cards and like they probably printed them out because you know that Jen. So they all did photo shoots. Like, I don't know if it was the same neighborhood. I don't know if they just saw each other and thought it was a trend, but these families would do photo shoots where there would always be, I feel like always a father, of course, a mother, and then a female child. And then sometimes there will be like a little boy in the picture too, like, or it could just be like a man and like a man, a wife and his 2 girls, whatever. They tied them up with Christmas lights and then taped their mouths shut. And then the like caption to it was finally
holding a sign.
Oh, yeah. Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that was the fun thing. It was so many families. It was like 6 different families all doing this, which was also incredible that I was like, these people, first of all, it's not even, have an original idea, plagiarism. But also, like, they saw other people doing this crazy thing to their children, setting an insane example for your daughters and your sons.
And your sons, both.
And then being like, oh my God, they did that. That's so funny. I'm going to do that too.
Oh my God. And I feel like these people have guns in the background. Like, this is the whole genre that we're talking about. Wow. Okay. What are 3 tips or whatever your top tip that you have for people who are listening, who do use dating apps and they want to make their dating profile less shitty and more spicy? What would you
sitting up?
Yeah, you're getting prepped.
We'll each give 2. We'll each give 1.
Great.
Yeah, or whatever.
I
have 2 right off the bat, right off the top of my head.
Okay,
like, you go for your 2. I'll go for my 1. If you take one of mine, I'll kill you.
Oh, boy.
Okay, dope. Hopefully I'll telepathically read your mind and know like which ones. Once I'm now back on the apps, so I now have a stronger feeling of what irritates me and what doesn't work once again. This is really small and petty, so I'll just say it really quickly. I really don't like when like straight men that like take social media seriously, like when they like post their TikToks on their effing Tinders. That is the most cringe effing ick I have ever in my life. I hate it. Wow. And that might just be a personal thing. It was like every single slide is just like one of your thirst trap TikToks. cut it out. Second of all, sorry, that wasn't even one of my two. Okay.
That's not off. Okay. Keep going.
So annoying. First one, do not make your bio a list of things that should not make people match with you. Like people will be, don't match if you're not going to text back. Don't match if you're not 5'2". Don't match if you're not. Shut the fuck up.
Sure.
Like,
so negative.
You're supposed to be selling yourself. You're not supposed to be telling other people what's wrong with them. What?
Yeah. That is one of my biggest pet, because I have been close to matching many a man, and then they ruin it with their bio. Like, ew.
Then they ruin it with their personality.
Thank you for warning me up front.
Yeah.
And then I would say,
good thing.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be giving you these tips. Keep it secret.
Yeah.
The second one would definitely be photos. Like, I stop no masks on for the majority of your photos. Like, I can't see who you are. Stop giving me like far away, like mystical, like artsy shots. I need to see your face. I don't care if you feel like it's cringy for you to take a selfie. If you literally have nothing else but just like far away pictures, I can't see your face. I need to see your face. I need to see your face. But like, not taking on like a microwave. Like maybe like wipe off your camera, just the little the front we're facing and the back facing.
So you're gonna say on a micro penis. Which, by the way, DP,
I was taken on a micro penis.
Do you have information on micro penises?
Micro penises? Have you had sex with micro penises? Sorry, that was too far. And now
I personally have not had sex with someone who has a micro penis. I'll just put that on the record. Not like anything is wrong with that. In terms of information, I don't really know what kind of information. Maybe we can table that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
She's obsessed with micro penises.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back. I'm not obsessed with micro penises. I want to put on the record I'm not obsessed with micro penises because the people in the Swipe Talk community have really ran with that narrative.
Okay.
I am obsessed with the notion that you should be confident and comfortable in your body no matter what. And I believe that micro penises is the community that I have chosen to
advocate for.
Stand up for.
To advocate for. Thank you. Yes. That's exactly for this platform, because I'm like,
a voice for the voiceless. That's
a voice for the voiceless.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So
I agree. I would say that, yes, if you are someone who has a micro penis or knows someone with a micro penis, not like you would know that unless you're sleeping with that person.
Right.
Maybe like understand that there are more parts to sex and experiencing pleasure than the penis. All the more reason to experience fingers, the mouth, sex toys, lots of different ways to gain pleasure from that.
Yes. And yes, sex is a lot more than just
in and out.
This typical in and out. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say for my tip, is this okay, Simone?
Keep going. We're good.
My point which was beautifully set up by Simone talking about her ex for the TikToks, is what I will say to you out there. Anybody that's listening, whoever you are, whoever you're attracted to, it does not matter. This rule is across the board. Don't try to be anybody but yourself. Because in the same way, Simone and I are attracted to very different types of people. So if you are trying to be very cool, but that's like different things are going to appeal to different people. So Simone, if you're going to be if you're very attractive, Simone will be attracted to you. What? That's what I was going to say. No. But there are different traits that Simone will be like, oh, that gives me the TikToks, where I'm like, oh, that's funny, whatever. Or there are traits that Simone's like, oh my God, I love this man. He's so hot. And I'll be like, I would never swipe on that. So that's why it's like when you're hearing, and I think that this happens a lot with TikTok in general, because everyone's just like talking about their opinions and preferences as they should, but never take anything as like a big blanket statement. Like, girls don't like guys who blank, or, people don't like people that XYZ. Make sure to show your personality and be true to yourself, because the more yourself you are, yes, you're going to weed out a lot of people by being strongly yourself, but it's going to be that much easier to find the right people. You're going to save a lot of time being like, rather than if you're pink, like don't be a pale pink, be like a hot pink, fuchsia pink. And you're going to be so grateful for it, because then everyone's going to be like, oh, that's pink. I want pink, or I don't want pink.
In a world that constantly encourages you to change, it's bold to just be yourself. Sexual expression and satisfaction are different for everybody, so rather than conforming to others, focus on falling in love with who you are. Lion's Den sources the very best products to help you find what you like and help you feel confident expressing your sexual desires. You can get 15% off in-store and online using code SEXEDWITHDB at lionsden.com to begin exploring everything about yourself. Follow them on social at Lions Den Adult on Instagram and TikTok.
You know sex is supposed to be fun, right?
We landed in Reykjavik and we're like, competition is on. We're all getting laid.
I'm Billy Procida, host of the Man Whore Podcast. I've been doing this show for over 9 years, and I still get surprised by the stories my guests have to share.
And my date was my dad's girlfriend.
Whoa, we gotta really back up. Want to know what all of that was about? Follow the Man Whore Podcast wherever you listen to audio. And stay slutty.
Hello to Mo Ari Brown. Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. I'm so stoked to have you on today. We're going to talk all about lots of great stuff, but the theme today really is bisexual dating, which I'm very excited by personally. I kind of talked about my own bisexual journey on the podcast starting this season, and it's season 9. So we're really we're up and at 'em here. And so I'm excited for you to speak to some of the questions that I and I'm sure many of my listeners have. But why don't we get started by you introducing yourself and just telling us about you and your work?
Thank you so much again for having me. I'm Mo Ari Brown. You all can just call me Mo Ari. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I use they, them, or he, him pronouns. I was assigned female at birth. I identify as non-binary transgender. That's a mouthful, but I say it every time. Just so people know.
The elevator pitch.
Absolutely. So people know like who I am, like out the gate. I have a number of other identities, but I'll start with being a licensed marriage and family therapist. I primarily have worked with LGBTQI plus individuals, families, and couples over the past decade, helping them to establish connection, reinvigorate their connections. And I've also worked a lot with transgender people, helping them to get celebratory and affirming medical care. And so now I have the honor of serving as Hinge's love and connection expert. And I'd love to share more about that throughout our interview. And I'm just really excited to be here.
We're going to move on, Mo. We're going to talk now about your really awesome title, which you mentioned in your intro, but you are Hinge's love and connection expert. So neat. That's a very neat title. I'm wondering, like, what does this entail? And how has it been for you in this role? What has it looked like?
Yay. Thank you for the compliment on my title.
Yeah.
I am really honored to be Hinge's love and connection expert. So I pair my years of experience as a licensed marriage and family therapist with Hinge's ongoing mission to be the most inclusive dating app for all daters. That means that I'm giving advice to LGBTQI plus daters on and off of the app. And I'm working with Hinge to ensure that Hinge's app remains a celebratory and inclusive space for daters to show up as their authentic selves on their profiles. And I'm hoping that daters learn a bit of wisdom from me along the way about how to cultivate connection and lasting partnership.
Awesome. And when you say, like, when you're talking about Hinge, being, the most, or the aiming to be the most inclusive dating app out there, what does that include to you? What does that entail?
Yeah. For me, that means like cultivating a space where daters are able to be authentic, where they have, where queerness is very visible and celebrated, where we know that this is a space where we know that the Hinge app specifically is a space that we can be ourselves when we're dating, that we don't have to hide who we are. I think when I say like inclusive, I imagine this being a table where everyone not only has a seat, but they have like enough on their plate to eat, and they have like all of like the accoutrements. So I see it as a place of celebration, not just like, hey, you're welcome here, but you are like valued and celebrated, and you get to be yourself. So this is definitely our mission around inclusivity, is really about belonging and authenticity as well.
That's beautiful. I really like that. I mean, for Hinge, I'd love to talk about this particular stat, right? More than half, like 52%, of bisexual Hinge daters say that they have not felt fully accepted into the LGBTQIA plus community. And I'm wondering, what do you think is behind this? Like, we kind of briefly talked about, okay, like maybe there is like myths or misconceptions around this, but how do we combat this biphobia and bistigma?
Yeah, I definitely think that these misconceptions are behind people not really feeling, bisexual people particularly, not feeling really fully accepted within the queer community. I think those stereotypes range from uh, biphobia that people are encountering with people that they're dating. So like a date finds out that you're bisexual and then you don't hear from them anymore, or uh, rejection from other people in the form of being called confused, or these assumptions that people make about bisexual people experimenting versus understanding the difference between exploring and experimenting. All of these stigmas end up impacting our experience and how we feel seen or accepted within the community. I think what we can do to combat that is to continue to raise awareness against these misconceptions. That's important. I think that a lot of the work is around allyship. It helps for people to know, like, that bisexual people make up the majority of the community, that we are a larger percentage than we may understand or feel due to the lack of visibility. But the work around allyship, I think, then is for people who are in the seat of receiving a bisexual person or witnessing a bisexual person, not perpetuating these stereotypes, not making assumptions, really getting to know a person on an individual level and allowing them to tell you who they are. I feel like that's really important too.
Yeah, like really just taking each person exactly as they are. Like I guess I'm kind of playing with these two ideas, right? Like I'm someone who have my master's of public health. I really like statistics. And I don't like statistics. I'm bad at it, but I like hearing statistics to really like ground where I'm at and like understand the argument or kind of like what that means and kind of how to take action. But I also really like the idea of just like, hey, who are you? Like if you're telling me who you are and I can just respect you and like trust you and believe you that that's what you're saying that you are and not come with any judgment or bias, like how much better would people's dating lives be if they just kind of, you know, and of course, like it's a lot simpler said than done. Maybe people have experiences of abandonment or past experiences with people they've gotten hurt by if X, Y, and Z, right? So like understanding that people come with context and they come with baggage. And at the same time, I think like as a bisexual person, I know when I recently told, you know, friends and family, a lot of people were celebratory. And then there were some experiences where people were very confused and didn't really say the right thing. And it's just kind of this like, oh, do I even want to tell people? Like that's kind of the feeling because I think, you know, it feels so good to at least for me to be like, this is my authentic self. I'm not afraid about any other part of my identity. Why am I so like embarrassed or like weird about this part of it? And I think like the more and more, like you said, allyship that we can kind of like celebrate people. Your bestie is like telling you about their dating life, like follow up like in a month, ask, right? There are these like little things that can be done that can make people feel really, really good about themselves and more confident in their dating life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. That celebration is just so important. It's so affirming. And it helps people to feel that belonging. When you're with your friend and they are like, please sit down and tell me what's been going on. You feel like you have community. I think that's at the core of this. That's at the core of connection, is this sense of belonging.
Right. Absolutely. I'm wondering if you could just share like one thing that you want all bi folks out there to know when it comes to self-love and dating. What would that be?
I encourage any bisexual person to define bisexuality on your terms. like what bisexuality means to you. You are your own unique, authentic brand of yourself. Just like me, I'm my own version of Mo Ari. I'm not trying to be anybody but that. And I think often when we're hit with these narratives, calling to the beginning of the episode when I talked about narratives and stories. So when we're hit with these stories about who we're supposed to be, sometimes those stories can be so pervasive that we don't get the opportunity to figure out who we are or explore who we are. So I just encourage you to define what bisexuality means to you and not let other people's definitions of that define your experience. I encourage you to embrace your authenticity. So whatever you end up defining yourself as, I encourage you to embrace that fully and live from that place. Follow the things that light you up, that make you happy, that feel euphoric for you, the relationships where you feel seen and celebrated. Go there. And as much as possible, ignore the negativity or the stories that are counter to the one that you're creating for yourself.
Absolutely. Life is long, and finding your people and finding the places and things and people that make you happy and feel good and feel confident. Like, as the older I get, I feel like the more obvious this becomes to me to like actually do the work and to really like, it starts from within, right? Like when we look at ourselves in the mirror and we think about who we are and we find things that we really like about ourselves, whether it be on our physical body or in our heart or soul or mind, like whatever that is, like double down on those things. And like the more
Absolutely.
you feel like good in your own self, the more ready you are to ignore or to combat those negative things and just be exactly who you are, how you want to be. And, you know, obviously if you live in a place where that's a challenge, then really lean on your online community and try to figure out like where can you find those people. And yeah, I just think this is a really important episode. So I'm really glad that you came on. And I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about what's next for you. What are you working on? And, you know, maybe anything about bisexual research or bisexual daters at Hinge that you would like to see in the future. I'm curious about those things too.
Yeah, so there are several different resources I want listeners to check out. So first, check out Not So Frequently Asked Questions by going, one, you can go on the app, go on the website at hinge.nfaq.co, I believe. Yes, hinge.nfaq.co. And I want you to check out the 2023 LGBTQI plus date report. That report released by Hinge is a first of its kind effort to share insights about the dating, what dating is like for queer people and what's the most important things happening for our community this year. And so if you could go ahead and check out that report, that would be phenomenal. I think you'll get more insights on bisexual daters. You'll get more insights on what it's like to be transgender in dating. We cover the gamut, but when we talked in this episode, a lot of what stood out to me was this need for more resources, more representation, more visibility for queer people. So I'm excited about a lot of the things we're doing at Hinge that really get right at the heart of that celebration and visibility. So if you want to keep in touch with me, follow me on Instagram at Love Out Proud. Follow me on my podcast, Be Your Own Love Goals. I co-host that podcast with my wife. It's getting right at just deciding for yourself what love looks like in your life and defining that for you and your relationship versus following other models of who you're supposed to be. And so I invite anybody that is even curious at all about me to listen to me there because I tell a lot about my story. But I'm just grateful to you for having me here on your show. It's been an honor, and I absolutely love all of your energy. I'm just grateful that you're sharing this space with me.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's very warming. Our creator, host, and executive producer is me, Danielle Bezalel. Our communications lead is Katherine Cohen. Our producer is Sadie Leegee. Our marketing coordinator is Mitch Coburn. Our social media coordinator is M. Kirsty Frazier. Our music theme is by Hook Sounds. Thanks so much to our featured guests, partners, and listeners. Want to partner with us? Email us at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. Do you have a silly sex story to share, need some advice, or have thoughts on the episode you just heard? Give us a booty call for a chance to be featured on the podcast. Check the show notes for the details. For more sex ed content, follow us on IG at sexedwithdb podcast and on TikTok at sexedwithdb. Want to know your sex toy zodiac sign? Go to our link tree on our IG now. See you next time.